Hello, YouTube. It is Friday, April 28th, 2023, 9:02 p.m., and I've got the whole weekend off. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really have any concrete plans until Sunday night, 7 p.m., at which point I'm supposed to be back at work at Amazon. Saw two people approaching on the sidewalk with a large dog, so I figured I'd cross to the other side of the street. Yeah, really not a fan of large dogs. They make me incredibly nervous, and I hate how these little residential sidewalks really are uncomfortably awkward to pass people on. Especially since, generally speaking, when two people are walking together on the sidewalk, they'll walk abreast as opposed to in single file, because of course you want to walk next to your friend that you're walking with. But two people walking abreast fills the sidewalk. So where does the person walking in the opposite direction go? Anyway, put a dog into that mix, and yeah, I crossed the other side of the street. Figure I'll be awkward and talking to myself by myself on the other side of the street. I hear music playing. I love the sound of music playing. Spanish music. Well, music in Spanish. What's more likely, Mexican music. Sounds like it's coming out of the vehicle over there. Kind of expected it to be coming out of this apartment right here. Quite often they're having a little get together on that patio right there with the music in Espanol bumping, and I enjoy most music in Spanish. For me, it's a thing. I know a lot of white people really hate it, but I don't know. I've spent most of my life in most of my life in Arizona, and that's just something you hear a lot here. It's just part of the culture, part of the fabric, and some of it I'm familiar with, some of it I'm into more than others. Well, I didn't recognize. Honestly, the song that they were playing sounded familiar to me, but it wasn't something I know offhand. Anyway, this is my second outing for the day. Since this does function as sort of my personal diary, I really don't feel like talking much about my earlier outing, but just so when I'm going back through these videos, trying to remember what I did when, since my memory is so random as far as like what I remember and what I don't. Hopefully this will be enough to jog my memory of the earlier middle of the day when I should have been sound asleep outing. But let's see. Super short version. Oh, cool. Somebody actually on a skateboard. Of course, you can't see it because this phone shoots absolute shit quality video at night. In fact, the camera is so bad on this phone, not only at night, but I've noticed when I use the Lime app, the Lime scooter app to rent scooters and unlock the scooters, that quite frequently when I try to scan the QR codes, it can't focus that close. All right, this is where they've been having the little morning fentanyl parties, and there's I don't know if y'all can see this. I can see it clearly, but it's not really showing up in my video. I don't see it well on my screen, but yeah, there's a orange shopping cart full of garbage. Keep it classy, Phoenix. Yeah, I've noticed that most of the time, even in the daytime, that the camera is incapable of focusing close enough to scan the QR codes. and unlock the scooters. Unfortunately, Lime understands that sometimes cameras suck, and sometimes their QR codes suck as well. They get kind of scratched up and whatnot. So they do give you the option of actually keying in the 6-digit plate number for the Lime scooter. And now, not only is that plate number just below the QR code, but they also print it in much larger text on the neck of the scooter. So that makes it possible to rent a scooter when you've got a really low quality phone. Speaking of electric scooters, there's somebody rolling on one. It did not look like a rental scooter. I do like that I'm seeing more and more electric scooters. I've been saying for, many years now. It's been 5 years. I've been doing the electric scooter thing 5 years. Feels like it. Maybe longer than that. They have the potential to really be the future for personal transportation. And yeah, when it's an option, it's certainly my favorite way to get around, even though I don't have any of my personal scooters running right now, and I keep saying I'm going to take the time to fix one of them, and I never do. Should I do that this weekend? Oh yeah. Will I? Probably not. Mostly I'll probably just lay in bed and be frustrated because I don't have my car. Speaking of not having my car, I was going to give the super cryptic short version of today's outing. Let's see, what did that involve? Waking up mid-morning when I should have been asleep, unexpected message, walking to that street corner over there in hopes I could catch the bus, opening up the bus app when I got to my first Lime scooter over by the park, to see, hey, is there any chance I can catch the bus, or should I just say forget about the bus and grab a Lime scooter? I looked at it and I'm like, oh, there's a slight chance I could catch the bus, since the southbound 44 just happened to be at Thomas. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I can walk from, I was actually standing in the area where they like to have the little fentanyl parties in the morning. This cell phone screen is so dim. It's so dim. So we got a little encampment going on here on the corner. Classy. I think there's somebody underneath that umbrella. The phone screen on this thing is so dim, even at its brightest setting, that I absolutely cannot see it enough to use it in sunlight. So I have to find a shady spot in order to see the screen enough to use it. That shit looks cute. Some people congregating in front of the bus stop had to walk freaking behind it just to get around it. What the heck was I saying? So I have to find a shady place just to see the screen on the phone enough to use my transportation apps, be that the Valley Metro app or Waymo or Lime, or check any messages of people I'm trying to get in touch with, coordinate my day with. That's difficult. And it's so many things I use my car for, and that's something that I don't think about it, but it's the shady spot. It's my shady spot where I can stop and see my phone screen. When I'm walking, sometimes I have to find a shady spot in order to look at the screen on my phone. Now, granted, that's not as much of a lack of a car issue as it is a lack of a decent phone issue, but as I've stated before, I'm not really doing until my May rent is paid and I have my car back. I'm not fucking with phones. I'm just making do with Obamaphone 4, such as it is. I don't think I've ever really talked about this apartment complex here. Arcadia Cove, and for some reason the word cove is completely washed out, at least it looks to be on my screen. Yeah, that's a really big, rather nice apartment complex that's completely... I never walk through it, I never go through it because I don't know anybody that lives there, and they've made it to where it's just not really possible to use it. It's a giant obstacle. It's a giant self-contained thing. Yeah, when different urbanism videos talk about walkable cities and things that make cities walkable, that's something that doesn't get mentioned ever that I really think should get mentioned. Little gated communities like that where it creates a big hole in the grid where nobody can walk, and everybody who lives in it must walk an excessive distance just to get out of their little community, and then walk to wherever they're going, sometimes walking massively out of the way because they can't get directly out from where they're going from, or in the direction they're going to, because say if somebody living in that Arcadia Cove they're wanting to go west, there is no entrance to the west. The entrance is to the east. You got to come out to the east, and then you go north or south, and then either go west on Oak Street or on that little side street I just passed. Although more likely than not, you're going to go down to the freeway. But I mean, these things are irrelevant for normal people because normal people drive. I would imagine damn near everybody who lives in Arcadia Cove drives. And it's funny. I have people ask, well, do you drive? Do you drive? Yeah, I drive. What they should ask is, are you driving now? No, I'm not. But if somebody asks me, do I drive? The answer is yes. Yes, I have a valid Arizona driver's license. It's valid until 2065. Or no, I'm sorry, it's valid until 2035. It's valid until my 65th birthday. That's such an Arizona thing. Yeah, I drive. You want to come bring me a car? I will drive you around all day. That would be fabulous. I drive. Bring me something to drive. That sounds fun. On that note, this morning after work, I did not drive the Brazilian woman's car. I did not ride with her. We had another one of those arguments in front of my loading zone. I just happened to be working north side outbound docks 224 and 225, which are hands down my least favorite docks to work because the work corral is very cramped, and the two loading zones for it, or loading buffers for it, are very small. They only hold eight. There's two of them that hold 8 pallets each, and it's just, I find it very difficult to function and maneuver in. I have noticed that the guys that do pretty well in it by constantly breaking a couple of rules that I don't break ever, which is not to ever leave anything sitting on a TDR plate while you're staging, getting ready to load, and not ever leave anything blocking the pit lane, which at least for more than a few seconds, which again I never do that either. So anyway, well, there is the bus. Of course, I don't think that would have saved me any time had I caught it, because I'm walking down to McDowell at the moment. Although if I'd have caught it, I just kept on going to light rail. Oh, do I know where I'm going or what I'm doing right now? No, I don't. I'm just walking and talking to myself. Hope you're enjoying the trip. I do think my first stop is going to be at Wander Inn. Although if I see Priscilla's vehicle in the parking lot, I'm just going to keep going, because I'm really, and I haven't talked about it much. I'm trying not to bore you all with that ongoing stupid saga, but let's just say that I did have contact with her last weekend, and I was very unhappy and unsatisfied with the contact that I had, and I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. I mean, I'm just clearly not happy with her, and the odds of me finding the kind of companionship that's going to make me happy, I'm so with her all the time, are slim to none. And as a friend of mine told me, it's like, you just got to fucking break free of that and move on. She obviously not good for you. You're clearly miserable. Hey, there's somebody driving. It doesn't look like they're driving with their lights off because their brake lights came on, but they have all their lights off. And we're not going to get to see them in their darkness because they're going to hold their foot on the brake here at McDowell. But yeah, that vehicle on the right lane in the back has no lights on. I mean, they haven't turned their lights on. Speaking of the no lights on thing, I did, and somebody had commented in my channel about this. I did see a video, some kind of sign on the ground with a really twisted up pole. I kind of want to pick up that sign and see what it says, but I don't want to cut my hand potentially on the pole. I already cut one of my fingers this week on something like that, and yeah, don't need another injury. Yep, there we go. Did you see the car go dark? It's a Prius. Driving in the dark. No, the person who commented on my video mentioned that it can be very hard for people to tell that they don't have their lights on because modern dashboards are always lit up. And all modern cars have daytime running lights. So they'll see some light in front of them, they'll see lights on their dash, and we'll just assume that they're, I just hit every beg button I ever walk near. All these people driving need to do a little bit more waiting. That makes it hard for people to realize they don't have their lights turned on, because the primary visual indicators to somebody as to whether their lights are on is whether they see light up, light in their dashboard and light in their, light in front of them. But the daytime running lights provide that. So, anyway, I forget what channel it was. I want to say maybe, I want to say maybe CNBC. Don't hold me to that. Some mainstream news channel, though, did a really nice little short documentary about it and things that different governments and manufacturers are doing trying to resolve that issue and combat people's stupidity and inability to remember to turn on their damn lights. Of course, that's not an issue with my vehicle. My vehicle is made in 2006, and its dashboard is very dark if I don't turn on the lights. It does have daytime running lights, though. So at least if for some stupid reason I don't turn them on, I do have a little bit of light in the front. I keep saying I'm going to do the short version of what happened, and I got to Oak Street and got sidetracked, because that's the way my faulty brain works. I do like that I'm seeing Lime scooters like everywhere. One right there by, I think this is a taco shop here. Oh, Desert Cuts, professional barbers. I guess it's a barber shop. I don't know. This is not a $10 haircut. Not a business I patronize, but maybe it's one that I should. Of course, that $10